You're listening to Gay News.
The latest news from the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender and queer community. And now your host, Brandon CARMODY.
So we're here with Special Agent Jay. He's been gracious enough to be with us all week, giving us clever and witty insight into the developments ever since the SCOTUS ruling on Friday. Welcome back to Gay News, Jay.
Thank you for having me back yet again.
So apparently Caitlyn Jenner killed it in a bandage. You don't live with the Kardashians for more than 20 years without picking up a couple of style tips along the way. Case in point, the killer long-sleeve Herb Ledger bandage dress Caitlyn Jenner wore for a night out in New York City on Monday night. I'll be honest with you all, I have no idea what this dress is. It's not part of my personal collection. But the 65-year-old clearly has been taking notes from stepdaughter Kim Kardashian, who at the time had a Herb Ledger dress for every possible occasion. So the question for you, what do you see, Jay, when you look at the Bruce Jenner story, starting with the Diane Sawyer interview where he said, for all intents and purposes, I am a woman, to the Vogue magazine reveal as Caitlyn Jenner? Is she now America's most famous and most loved transgender woman?
I believe that her transformation has made her an icon and something for those who are coming to the awareness that perhaps they're wearing the wrong suit. But I want to stress the fact that Caitlyn has had access to a lot of resources that most individuals may not and usually do not have access to. So I really don't want people to set the bar so high. Now let me tell you, that Vogue cover, and I believe it was Annie Leibovitz who did the shoot. She looked absolutely freaking gorgeous. I mean, she looked stunning. I might actually take her to bed. And that's the homo talking, okay? But it's most famous and loved transgender woman right now, yes. And as I said, an icon, something to aspire to. Right now. I think so, right now. But the future is yet to be told.
Did you have the opportunity to see the Diane Sawyer piece, or I'm sure that you at least caught the major parts of it in news footage, right?
Yes, I did catch the Cliff's Notes version. Yes, I did.
It's very interesting. I didn't really know Bruce Jenner before this, and now Bruce Jenner is, in remembrance as a past figure. We meet Caitlyn.
Curious little factoid here. I have a second cousin, my great uncle, grandmother's brother's daughter, went to school with Bruce and was on the track with him. And so it's a particularly strange connection because I've often heard stories about Bruce, and then, all of this transpires, and it kind of puts a new twist on the story.
Fascinating. Well, I'm going to hit you with a two-parter here. It's got to be done. This is a lightning round. Things are moving at a fast pace here. So question number 2, part 1, have you been keeping up with the Kardashians? And part 2 of 2, will America tune in to I Am Kate to watch this transformation and follow her life and her adventures?
Well, to answer part 1 of question 2, have I been keeping up with the Kardashians? No, I've been too focused on the Dominion, the founders, and producing Tetris Wife.
Yeah.
You have question 2. Will Americans tune into? I believe so, out of curiosity, because, like I said in yesterday's episode, 60-40 split, I think it's more than that. Survey says I think it's closer to 70. Some people are just too afraid to say what they really feel because, the stigma of saying, oh, you're okay with that? But that is waning. It is disappearing gradually, bit by bit. But will we tune in? Yes, I believe we will. I actually think I might be one of them.
I just might be number 2. I think that what I appreciate the most at this point is her courage to go out in the public eye. I think that we can close the door on the fact that this could have possibly been a publicity stunt. I don't know if you saw the headline. I've been laughing about this for weeks. Literally, the Diane Sawyer said, "Could you possibly be doing this as a publicity stunt?" Oh, no, Diane, we would never do that. That was my favorite part. It wasn't when Bruce Jenner said, for all intents and purposes, "I'm a woman," but it was, no, we would never do this as a publicity stunt. I'm really changing genders. So, big kudos for the courage. One of the things that I'm really excited about here is the visibility, because with LGBTQ having just achieved same-sex marriage, and we're really in the headlines right now, visibility for trans issues is something that we really need to put a focus on now as well, to be inclusive.
Absolutely. I mean, there is a broad spectrum. I think, as Kinsey said, he had a scale, but even then, that's kind of putting a limit. There's a bottom and a top, but no, no pun intended. But, there is no limit. We all fall somewhere, and sometimes that fluctuates, depending on the individual. Hey, you want to get frisky? Or, you know what? I'm in the wrong suit, and I need to try something different and be who I really am. Those are decisions that are all, personal, and I think everybody should respect that on the basis of, just respect for humanity. We all have to get along on this, wretched third rock from the sun. It's getting too small too fast. And
we're using up all the resources. The resources are going real fast.
Yeah. This planet, I think most scientists would agree with me that, not like I'm an expert, would agree that this planet was probably built for a max of 2 billion, and we're pushing, 9 almost. So it's out of control.
No more Trump Plaza.
Oh my goodness, yeah, thank God for him. He just handed the election to Hillary. He really just did. Macy's, of course, just for the listeners at home, Macy's officially dropping Trump ties today. Second day in a row for Trump, who's still as defiant as ever, went out on CNN today, and he read the CNN poll, which officially now shows him one click below Jeb Bush. So he's polling high, but the momentum may not last. But I digress. We're going to come back to Trump in a different episode. However, 1/3 of Alabama counties, which have continued to refuse same-sex marriage licenses in spite of Friday's Supreme Court ruling, they were issued a federal mandate Wednesday morning, which is cut it out. U.S. District Judge Callie Granati issued the order from Mobile, Alabama, the Associated Press reports, saying that probate judges are not permitted to begrudge same-sex couples their marriage licenses now that the Supreme Court has deemed prohibitions on gay marriage unconstitutional. The order came as an update to Granati's January 2015 ruling that Alabama's ban on same-sex marriage was unconstitutional. Now, I want to let you know that a county clerk in Arkansas resigned from her position because she doesn't believe in issuing same-sex marriage licenses, so she gave up her career to stand on her moral authority. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton has told state workers that they don't have to issue licenses to same-sex couples if it violates their religious beliefs. He has even offered them all free legal services if they get in trouble. We have lawyers on standby. Break the law. We'll help you out here. So the question for you, are county clerks, probate judges, and attorney generals the next LGBTQ fight? Well, they're not the next. They always kind of have been. But what I have to say to that truly is somewhat akin to the bakery, the lesbian couple that sued them. Use the gay pages. Find a county or a parish or a district that will allow it and just go there. If you're so desperate to hang on to it and there's nobody in your state, then just wait. Please, just wait. You've waited this long. These are the death throes of someone who has suffered the coup d'etat, and they have lost, and they are desperate and grasping at straws. Just let it die out. It'll be okay. Just give it a few months. It'll be over.
I think since Friday's ruling, I don't have the map pulled up right now, Jay, but I think the majority of counties in the 13 states that had banned previously have actually done marriages. So by this Friday, we need to do a state-by-state recap. It'll be 7 days since decision day. We need to do a recap to see how much progress we've made in 7 days. So that'll be on Friday's episode.
I'll keep track on Reuters.
Yes, and then on Thursday's show, we promised them at the start of the week, we need to do a recap starting with the riots at the Stonewall Inn. You know, the 46th year anniversary of Stonewall was on June 26th. So let's just do a recap on how we got here to LGBTQ equality on tomorrow's show.
Sounds like a plan, dude.
All right, so final question for you today. This kind of got very good news because there's been so much celebrating and partying, but CNN was actually covering a pride parade. So here's basically what happened. CNN has become the butt of numerous jokes after devoting an entire segment to the purported ISIS flag that appeared at London Pride festivities last week. And they turned their live cameras on it, and oh my God, there's an ISIS flag in there. So the banner actually featured dildos. So
and
it was an artistic design. It was a custom-made artistic design to look like ISIS, and CNN got it wrong. So, final question for you tonight, Jay. What are your thoughts on CNN's dildos of terror moment?
Par for the course.
Yeah.
I mean, I began to distrust CNN a long time ago, which is why I started going independent journalism, people who actually blog from the scene and what they're witnessing and the pictures that they Instagram and, you know, the actual situations, you know, dodging, these cluster bombs that come out of nowhere and blowing up the parks that these kids used to play in and, oh gosh, there goes your apartment, goodbye. And, you know, we think we have problems. You know, I mean, your house of worship is gone one morning and in a huge explosion, and you go to, you know, worship your creator, and all of a sudden some guy walks in with a chest full of explosives and kaboom, I mean, 38 people are gone. I mean, nothing is sacred over there, and we think we have problems. I think we all need to just kind of take a step back, reassess. I mean, look, Greece is about to go bankrupt. I mean, if that's not an indicator of anything, I think that should be like the global thermometer.
I know. I mean, just looking at what's going on, Greece is about to go bankrupt. Oregon has legalized a certain substance. You got Donald Trump on the news defying everybody. It's cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria.
Mass hysteria!
But let me tell you, my world, my entire perspective on everything has now been changed just to see the phrase in writing, CNN dildos of terror. It changes my whole perspective on everything. I don't think I can go through life the same way now, Jay.
I would highly recommend you look up, I'm not sure if you can name names. I'm sure you can post a link or something like that, but a contributor, I'll just say his name, you can edit it out if you need to, John Oliver, rips into CNN for this particular issue, and he did a very good job of doing so. So, yeah.
Okay, we'll pick up on that on Thursday. Special Agent Jay, thank you so much for appearing on Gay News today, and we're going to continue this wall-to-wall coverage on Thursday.
And for those listeners of ours here in the great state of Oregon, happy Illegal is Elation Day. Special Agent Jay from Vallis, Oregon, home of the Oregon State Beavers, signing out.
All right. Peace out. Have a good day. Our next guest today is BYRON BECK. BYRON BECK is the features editor of Go Local PDX, and he serves up the latest gossip, news, rants, and raves. BYRON, welcome to Gay News today. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm great. So the American Civil Liberties Union of Oregon applauded the Supreme Court's decision and said that it affirms the conclusion reached last year that Oregon's marriage ban was unconstitutional. Bully Commissioner Brad Avakian also praised the Supreme Court's historic ruling. Of course, the lovely Governor Kate Brown released a video on YouTube praising the decision. So what I wanted to ask you is, what is your personal thoughts on the Supreme Court ruling, and are you as jubilant, as excited as the many politicians in Oregon that we've been speaking to?
Yeah, I mean, this is a momentous win for freedom, equality, and inclusion, and above all, love. We can celebrate that ours is a country that keeps its promise of the pursuit of happiness, liberty, and justice for all. I'm very, very happy.
It's a big win for the LGBTQ, definitely. Now, what do you see as the next fight or set of LGBTQ issues that we need to address now that the Supreme Court has ruled. Senator Ron Wyden, speaking to the crowd at the Basic Rights Oregon rally on Friday, announced that he does have plans to introduce some tax legislation to recognize and protect the dignity under all of our federal tax laws to ensure that there's equality in the tax code like there's equality in marriage.
Yeah, I mean, fiscal or financial equality is a wonderful thing. Anthony Watson, who used to be the former CIO of Nike, has a wonderful blog post that talks about how we need to become financially equal as well as equal in other ways. But there's lots of other issues. I feel like the situations that happen in the South with the burning of black churches and the horrific deaths that happened in Charleston just highlights another issue. We have LGBTQ kids are still more likely to commit suicide than other kids, and at epidemic levels. There are issues when it comes to living in a rural community and not feeling safe if you're openly gay. I mean, there's just a lot of issues that are still ahead.
Sure, and I've heard everything from we need to address workplace discrimination issues, the states where you can be fired for being gay, discrimination in housing. I mean, I've heard the entire gamut of things that are still on our list, so to speak,
Right. I agree.
So
we're not done with the work.
No, but we're still allowed to celebrate for a little while longer. So love did win. Love definitely won. As the Supreme Court legalized same gender marriage nationwide on Friday, many couples that have been waiting years did rush to the altar. Now, I read on golocalpdx.com, I didn't realize this about you and Juan, that you were the lead plaintiffs in Martinez versus Kulingoski, the case which attempted to overturn the voter-approved ballot measure 36. I want to ask you about that. What was the fight like?
It was hard. It was, we lost at the county level and we lost at the appellate level. So we worked very hard to overturn the measure. And we were involved in the court case for about 4 or 5 years. It was a lot more exhausting than I ever expected it to be. And it was a very hard time because every time we tried to go up against the courts, we lost.
Well, that's sorry to hear that. I didn't realize that this is going on. So you two have been waiting for about 20 years to get married, 20 years. Is that right? You've been together a while?
Well, we waited exactly 20 years. We met at the end of May in 1995, and we got married on May 30th, 2015. So, yeah, we waited.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah,
congratulations to you both. So what was it like? What was the wedding like?
The wedding was wonderful. It was the best day of my life. It was not just a piece of paper or a ceremony for the state. It was really an expression of love, and not the expression just between me and Juan, but the expression of love our friends and families have for us. And it was, just so beautiful, and it was the best day of my life.
That's fantastic. I was hoping it would be amazing. Congrats to both of you.
Thank you.
So my last question, and we always kind of end on a silly one, but did Byron Beck really dance inside of a giant Chipotle disco burrito during Portland's Pride Parade? And what's the scoop of that?
I sure did. I had a great time. I was asked, and I asked Juan if he'd join me to dance on the Chipotle float, and the Chipotle float happened to be a disco in the shape of a giant silver burrito. And
I've seen it.
Yeah, and I was in a little pair of rainbow-colored short shorts and some rainbow socks, and I had a blast. It was the best time I've ever had at Pride ever.
And I saw a little clip, I think it was a Vine or something. I think that's the most fun I've seen you have, and I really enjoyed it. I think it was just super awesome. So congrats on that too.
It's been a good month. I mean, I got married, I got to dance on a giant burrito. It's been a very good month.
it makes perfect sense that you were intertwined. It is always a pleasure to talk to you, Byron Beck. This is a new show called Gay News. You're welcome to come on anytime. Please extend our congrats to Juan. Best wishes for both of you, sir.
Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.
You too. Thanks, man.